All right, we're on the final stretch of this thing. We've got the black left, and I forgot to paint the white around the eyes. We'll get that here in just a minute. This is what we're going to paint. So the black's already in the well. I'm going to add some water to it. Fairly watered down. I use my brush to mix it up. And knowing from experience that may not be enough, we'll see how far it stretches. If we need a little bit more, we can always add. This paint is cheap enough to where we can do a lot of paint. Even if you waste it, it's not a big deal. Okay, I'm gonna start at the top. We're gonna work on the. We're gonna work on the bottom. In fact, I want to work on the bottom. So paint in the brush, and we just start putting on paint where black goes again. You can see, even with paint on there, it shows the grain right through the wood. Right through the paint. Wood grain right just shows up. Turn that video down. We don't need to be advertising for somebody else. Besides, we don't need distractions when we're painting. We should just be in a zen mode of going to town on this stuff. Having fun with it. Okay, painted the gross anatomy. I'll switch to a smaller one. We'll get the smaller brush in here where we need to go, in places where we want the black to go. Got to be careful about touching it because now that paint's wet and I don't want to get it all over places it doesn't belong. So got a little bit of black right there. I want to get that off of there. I'm just going to paint and try to wash it off with that brush. It may not come off. We may have to go scrub it a little bit more. Anyway, now we're going to do the black. I have to watch myself because I've got these areas right here that should still be white. I didn't paint them last time, so we'll have to go around those and see how well we do. You can see on this black we had a little bleed over of the red into the black area, and it actually covered it fairly well, so we're not going to worry about having to go back and touch up. Got a little bit of white right there. We'll just paint that over. We'll go to the bottom of the well, get the black stuff, the really pigment, and just lightly paint over that. And we'll hide that, feather that color in so it doesn't stand out as stark. Go around, touch up a few areas. And our little black penguin is painted. Let's see if we can find a smaller brush and we'll paint those white eyes. I'll bet I got a small enough brush over here to do that, and that ought to do it right there. We'll go into the white. Have to be careful to make sure they don't touch much because we don't want them to bleed. I could prevent that by drying it, making more noise. I'll try to get it done right here without firing up that noisy machine. I made a couple of snafus, so we're going to have to go back over it with some black in a couple of areas. Not a big deal. Watch this. Touch that area right there up with black. Touch that area right there with black. Hit that in another lick because it's still, that paint, that white is still coming through pretty hard. Touch up that little area right there. This guy looks good. I want to touch up another area right here. It's not going to touch up because the paint ain't thick enough. Too transparent. There we go. All right. Let's lick that a minute with the hairdryer. Hold on your sound. I just wanted to make those eyes as dry as I could make them, because what I'm going to do is now, just like we did on this guy, paint the big black pupil of the eye. I don't know what color penguin eyes are, but it doesn't matter, because we're just going to actually use a smaller brush. Go to the bottom, mix it up a little bit more. We're just going to make a big round dot in there. Just like that. Touch up a little bit there. Dry it. And we're going to give him a little white highlight. So I'm going to go to the white. I'm going to open the lid up. I'm going to leave that lid sitting right there. And all I'm going to do is give him a little touch up. Use that real small brush that I pulled out. Make sure it's rinsed off really well. And we'll just get a little dot right up there at the top. And another little dot on the same side, right up there at the top. And there he is. Okay. The next thing we want to do is use the same process. I'm going to dip straight white out of the lid, and I'm going to use a couple of styluses. I don't know how you say that. This one is the big one. It says, I can't even read the manufacturer, it's so old. But I've got that one, and I've got a smaller one, and we'll use both of those because I want to add a pattern to it. So these three styli have three different sizes of points. There's a big one right there, there's a medium sized one right there, and there's a smaller one right there. And so we'll use the big one to make a dot, and then we'll use one of the smaller ones to make a dot around it. Let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to go in with just to touch it, just get a little bit of paint on there, and just want to make a dot. And you can make them as big as you want, not real big. Then we'll go back in there with a white again, and we'll make a dot, and a dot. And that's the pattern we're going to have on that bow tie all the way around. We're going to do the same thing at the hat. I want to make it a little bit bigger at the hat. And I'll show you what that looks like. I don't think you want to sit here for 20 minutes and watch me make dots. But anyway, that's the process we're going to use. We're using styluses. I'll ask an art teacher how that's pronounced next time I see one. And then we'll do that all the way around the bow tie and all the way around the hat and give it a little winter festive look. So I'll do that off camera. You don't need to sit here and watch me do that, but that's what we're going to be doing. We'll see you in the next video.